welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I made a technique video, but I do have a list of them I'd like to get through before the end of summer. So today I'm going to talk about top arm action. Right? Now there's all sorts of variations out there depending on which technique you're being taught or doing. There's all sorts of variations around what this top arm is doing. So one of the most common top arm actions you'll find in New Zealand drag boating anyway, and also quite typical in some of the Western countries, is what I call as a piston type top arm action. It's a top arm action that says your top arm at all times should be out over the gunnel and it never drifts inside of the boat. So it goes something like this. Okay, set up. Top arm, top hand over the bottom hand, stroking, pressing down, stroking, sitting up, completing. Now go back for the next stroke. Top hand stays above the bottom hand all the time. This is the typical piston type top arm action. That's it there, up and down, very linear, very point A to point B, so very linear. And it doesn't fall inside the boat. There it is there. Very, very conventional. It's been around a long time. And it's been used at the highest levels of competition around the world. So it's well grounded, it's well proven, it's well tested under competition conditions. And it's, as I said before, it's a very common top arm, top hand action that's taught in New Zealand. Now, I've used it for many years, and it's very strong, especially when done with a straight arm. So I don't have a beef here with this kind of top arm action, this piston type. What I have become increasingly more interested in is a different kind of top arm action, which I believe adds significant impact to the catch. Right? So I've been doing this in my paddling now and then over the last probably 18 months, trying to understand the physics of it and why it is done this way by certain teams around the world. Right? So what I'm talking about is a top arm technique that's quite circular rather than linear. So it involves a circular motion rather than a straight up and down piston type action. And it goes something like this. Sit up, take the stroke, sitting up. Right, you've completed the stroke. Now this top hand, right, this top hand is now going to break, sweep inside. As the body is falling forward, I use the hinging technique. So as I'm hinging forward, this inside arm, this top arm, is now sweeping around, up, over, boom, down into the catch. At the same time as you've hinged your body weight down into the catch, you're dropping this hammer, if you like, from the heavens, boom, down, taking the stroke. The top hand remains over the bottom hand throughout the stroke. But at the completion of the stroke, it drops inside, sweeps around, starts going up high, boom, down into the catch. Take the stroke, top hand over the bottom hand, take the stroke as you normally would, right? Break at the back, sweeping in, boom, down. Right. Now, I've mentioned that I believe that this particular top arm action technique adds a lot of impact to your catch. So why is that? If you look at the motion that the top arm is making, what it's doing is it's actually, by swinging inside and circling up above your head and then coming down, you're building up an incredible amount of momentum. And if you get your timing right with your hinge, you're going to be dropping that momentum into your catch at the same time. And what I've found is the impact to the catch is quite significant from this momentum that you're building up and dropping. So I wanted to share that with you firstly, just to let you know that you know, there are many variations out there around top arm action, and that my own standard top arm action is actually a piston type. But more lately I've been using this circular motion, which swings out and then comes down. It's quite an interesting contrast, and I think I'm going to be building it increasingly into my technique. Now I can switch between both techniques depending on what's going on in the boat or what the club or coach might prefer. That's not a problem. But I just wanted to share with you, in case you are curious, as I am, about top arm techniques. So that's the top arm technique, right? Now, what's the bottom arm doing in the circular motion technique? So, with your more conventional outside arm, you take the stroke, sit up. I'm using a sit up, a hinging sit up action rather than a rotation action. Right? So I take my stroke, sitting up, complete the stroke. Now on a more conventional return, I would just simply do a small break at the back and fire that straight forward. Boom. Down. Yep. Fire it straight back. Top hand over the bottom hand, not drifting in. It's a piston style. Right? So you can see the bottom hand is also quite linear in its movement. It's quite point A to point B. Now, with the circular top arm technique, the outside arm is also kind of moving away from that linear action and kind of drifting around like this. I'll give you a demo. So watch the blade and where it travels. We'll do the circular action first. Slow it down, take the stroke, pulling back slowly. Now we're going to drop inside, top arm dropping in, sweeping around. Now look at the pedal. The pedal is coming around like this. It's no longer like that. Right? So your top arm is, you come off the stroke. If you're going to do the circular top arm action, it breaks inside, and as it's breaking inside, the paddle is breaking to the outside. Right? It's breaking to the outside, inside swinging around, coming up and completing my hinge, boom, dumping the whole lot right there. Coming back, sitting up, breaking, boom, 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 boom. Now, if you get the timing of that coming down, that hammer dropping down, if you get the timing right with the loading of your upper body weight over the catch, you've got a very forceful entry on your catch, and it's really going to have quite significant impact. Let's look at the more linear style and how the blade, this end, how it actually travels now. So in this style, you're keeping the top hand out over the bottom at all times. So look how the blade now travels. If the outside arm also has a linear kind of approach, you just don't lift it to back to keep the blade going forward. Notice how it's not swinging out anymore and coming around. It's very linear. Up, forward. Yeah. So both techniques are actually very powerful. But in my view, I'm kind of leaning more towards this circular movement in the top arm action especially, and with the outside arm slightly flaring out and coming around like that. I really like that the momentum that I'm able to build up through the swing and then drop the hammer down into the catch. So really I just wanted to share that with you. I've been probably playing around with this now for the best part of a year, 18 months. And you will see this top arm technique especially used amongst Asian teams. And even within what we would call the Asian style, there are variations around that as well. So I think all this variations and different techniques and views and opinions, I actually think it's a really healthy way to go. And in this way, our sport will grow and develop. Everything we do gets tested out on the water anyway under competition conditions. So if something doesn't actually have merit in practice, in the real world, it's soon discarded. But I think what you'll find is this circular top action and slightly more fluid outside arm action is it has a lot of merit, even if it isn't widely used amongst the Western style paddle. So there you go, I'll leave you with that. Leave us a comment if you enjoyed the video, or if you want to tell me what kind of top arm and outside arm action you've got going on or that you're being taught. I'd be really interested to know about that. Until next time, see ya.